Welcome back, everybody. We got a good video for today because as promised, we're going to be doing a cool design. We got the cap frame set up. This is the mock-up I did. This is the final, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into digitizing for a bit, and then we're going to run about 11 hats. Let's do it. Going to be showing you guys how this project started. This is the picture that was sent to us so we could start working on the digitizing. It is pretty much a picture of a wrinkled shirt. It's not horrible. I can make out most of the details, but it's, you know, the wrinkles does affect the shape of things. The letters are really chopped up, but overall easy to see, and it ended up being this here. This was the first stitch out that I did. I just wanted to make sure that the machine was not going to have any issues embroidering through this middle seam, since some of these snapbacks are pretty thick, but that wasn't really the issue. Compared to the picture, I had to put rentals next to solid instead of underneath it because there's only so much space to work with on a hat. We needed to be able to use the space that we had to put both the solid and the rentals on there, and it came out great. Or so I thought. To me, this was almost an exact rendition of what we got sent, but when I sent it to him, he I guess he wasn't feeling it. He said he wasn't feeling like it was flowing. His words. He wanted a few changes, and as much as I think that it was like solid at the beginning, like I do appreciate, because he was cool. Like when I would talk to him on the phone. He was a cool guy, so I don't mind him wanting to change things up. Like that's a challenge, but if it's gonna make the design better at the end, then let's do it. So he kept on like wanting to tweak it. You know, he's like, we had already agreed we were gonna run it, and then he called me back and he's like, oh, I just noticed the design is flat. He like, do you have any like 3D thread? I'm like, well, you could do puff on some stuff. I'm like, but that's usually on words. I'm like, maybe we could do solid. I doubt rentals because it's so thin. He's like, no, well, I was thinking about the whole design. And so I was like, nah, you can't really do that. He's like, and it doesn't look centered, which he's right. It does not look centered because when you see this design, you mainly see the circle. The circle is not centered because the design is like, it's different. The whole design is not a circle. You got this mountain over here. You got a little bit over here, but it's not as long as over here. We got the text. So when you actually center the design, it's centered in the fact that there's the same amount of space here as it is here, but the focus of the design, which is the sunset, is not centered, or at least it doesn't look centered. So I told him I'd make a few changes. I won't show you guys the final hat yet, which does look cleaner, but we'll run it and I'll show you guys in a bit. But pretty much what I have to do is shift the design, even though the sides are not going to be exactly centered, but the sun will, and it'll look cleaner. I made the text smaller. Oh, he also said that it looked too big, which I guess that's preference. I usually start off, if it's something with text, I start off at 2.5 inches and then I'll scale down if I can, because I want to make sure that I get the cleanest look possible. I was able to go down from 2.5 to 2.2 with the text still looking solid. So it worked out. So instead of like trying to do any type of 3D puff, I added some satins, because satins does kind of like elevate above just flat embroidery. It's clean, it makes things pop. So I added that onto the different sections of the sunset colors. That's what I'm gonna be running right now. I did do this one that I have here, but I forgot to change the whole centering of the image. So that one's still offset a little bit. And I'll be showing you guys the side that he wanted. Cali grown, it's clean. It's right in the center of here. At first I had done it here, but he wanted it to fit right in the middle of these two seams here. And at first I had used the Melco. If you guys have seen, I have clamps that's good for embroidering the sides of hat. But what ended up happening was that the design, the text, came out really slanted. It's hard to do it with those clamps, especially since the text has to be really close to the bill. My clamp is over here on top of the bill, and that makes it really hard to work the hat around there. So I ended up just hooping it on the Tajima and just doing regular embroidery using the cap frame. I'll show you guys how I did that too. I had to just like center the hat off to the side a little bit, but it worked out and it looks bomb. It looked great. I am glad that he had some points or like things that he didn't like, because at the end of the day, this hat is not for me. It's for him. He's gonna be selling them or whatever he's doing with them. So let me go over the digitizing a little bit more, and then let's get it embroidered. Okay, so here's our design and our reference photo. Pretty much had to change this to the side of it so we don't take up too much space, as I mentioned. Actually, now that I remember, I am missing these birds, so I'm gonna have to add those on right now. I'm just gonna add it around here and over here. But anyways, here's what I was talking about, having it centered. See, it's off this amount. If I zero it out, it's too much to this side and it doesn't look that centered because of the sun. Besides that though, it was pretty standard. We're not starting from the bottom up, but about the middle up. You got your colors, beautiful sunset, you got the clouds, the water, palm trees, little mountains, solid rentals, boom. And that's about it. Let me go ahead and digitize this real quick. Which I am more than happy to add this because it's gonna fill up that space. These are tiny though. Let's go ahead and remove any underlay. Start it from one side to the next. They're going to be black. I might make them a little bit bigger. I think my mouse is messing up. All right. Copy paste. And this one we can make it a tiny bit bigger. Let me switch mouse. Right? This one bigger. This one a little bit bigger. And there we have it. How are the angles looking actually? Solid birds, which they're cool because they are gonna fill up a little bit of that space like I mentioned. Let me go ahead and hide this. Let's move it over here. I could actually make them bigger. Yeah. I am gonna separate them more so they're not on the border, on the satin. And that looks good to me. Let's bring them in a little bit closer. Because probably, you know, a couple, you know, they want to stay close. Let's bring them in like that. Keep them in their eyes view. And that's it. I am going to center the Y. This is my midpoint, the 0 line here. So I actually did a auto start and end. Digitize start needle position. Digitize end needle position. When you do that, you get to draw out. You point pretty much where you want your start and stop. And that's where I left it here. And that'll fix the issue of it not looking even or evenly distributed. I think it's ready to go. I'm gonna hoop the hat and let's get it embroidered. We're about to hoop this hat, but before that, I just want to talk about the hat itself. To me, when they came to me with the hats, these are their hats. I didn't get these, but they got them from Amazon. As soon as I heard that, I thought they were gonna be $3, $4 hats. Sometimes those hats through Amazon or the ones you get at Walmart, even at Michael's, they're like pretty horrible, like no structure. But apparently these hats are about 10 bucks each on Amazon. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. Like when I first saw them and I knew they're from Amazon, I didn't think they were that great. They are snapbacks, but this front part is not so stiff at all. It's pretty loose, but I liked it because that just means that it's gonna be much easier to embroider on. But anyways, this is the hat. Let's hoop it. I am not using any stabilizer. I've kind of refrained from using stabilizer on hats unless it's a dad hat. Then definitely I could use 1 or 2. I'm actually gonna fold this forward a little bit, the bill. You could fold it right back after. Because if this thing's flat, when you're trying to hoop it, the flatness of it just kind of keeps on like snapping the hat either forward or back. So I'm gonna do that. Make sure I got this all the way to the front here of the line. Put the band on. Perfect. I'm also going to be using the clips. One on that side and one on the other side. That's it. Nothing special. Straight up. Just hooping it. Made sure it was down the middle. It's straight. I got my bill a little bit curved so it doesn't hit the machine that much. And we're good. Something that I'm doing that I never really do is lining this up, you know, like normal. A little bit more to the right. Okay, that's down the middle. And then I'll go down all the way till it doesn't let me because of the frame limit. So it's right about here. And then I come in here and then I remove that frame limit. So software frame limit, no. So that's it. I don't want to go any lower than what it already stopped at naturally. I could go a little bit higher. We do have a little bit of space back there, but I don't want to push my luck. I think that's low enough. I just want to make sure that it's going to let me there, because if I have the frame limit, I'm going to have to move the hat forward just a bit and then start. I just wanted to start right there. This design actually, I'm really starting to like it. It's only 30 minutes. It's not a crazy amount of stitching, and the look at the end is nice. We got vibrant colors, a full design to fill up the front of the hat. Let's do it. hat just finished and it's looking nice. So before I give you guys the full reveal, let's go ahead and do the side for it. I'm gonna clean it up and then I'll show you guys. The main thing here is to get the text as straight as possible. We'll be able to get it real low. I'm gonna be doing the same thing by bypassing the frame limit to get it low, but besides that, it has to be real straight. So that's what we're focusing on here. I'm not putting the inner sweatband of the hat how we usually do, like this. I'm just gonna embroider on top of it, and it helps with keeping the band here pretty straight. So I'm gonna twist the hat a little bit, and then gotta make sure that these little jaws here and here are both as straight as possible. This bottom one, it's just kind of like getting the support of the hat so it doesn't slip off. And this top one, just make sure we're right on the edge of it. Same thing to keep the hat tight and to keep it lined up. That looks pretty good to me. There's a little bit of white underneath, but that's because the bill comes into play here. Can't do nothing about that, but it looks straight. And then just so you guys know, because we tilted the hat, we can't hoop it all the way passing the bill. Check it out. It's right on it. I still managed to clip it. It's gonna be fine, I promise. Watch. Actually, I forgot to measure the midpoint between the stitching here and the stitching here. I just measured it out with the ruler right now, but pretty much what I've been doing is I'll fold the hat so where the stitching matches on this side here, and then I'll make a little marking here and I'll know that's the midpoint. I think that's the midpoint here. I have it pretty much as low as I can without the presser foot hitting the band here, just to be real low and clean looking. Pretty much it says Cali grown. We're doing it in black. Smooth sailing. Here it is, looking clean, straight, right in the middle of here. I'm gonna straighten out the bill because I folded it, clean it up. Not much cleaning to do. I think I see a yellow thread here, and that's it. There it is. I'm very happy with the results. What do you guys think? Yeah, I like it. I'm glad we landed at this final design or the tweaks and everything. Like I said, he got these off Amazon. In my taste, they're a little weirdly shaped, sized, but maybe I got a little head. I don't know. I think he just got these from Amazon because he wanted to test the waters. He wanted to see how the design is going to be, how it's going to sell before, I guess, he made a huge investment. I really don't know, but I hope he comes back. I think he will. But that's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and like and subscribe. We got more embroidery content coming up. Appreciate you. Deuces.